Marcus, CMYK, that's a pigment joke, recently delivered a speech at the raising of the Pride flag.
Pride is a celebration of how far we have come. It's a celebration of how, in many important ways, love has already won. But pride is also a promise to ensure that justice, security, and dignity will always be demanded, defended, and delivered. Yeah. Pride is a promise. It is a promise to every young person, regardless of their identity, that they'll be able to walk through their school doors without being afraid of whether they can get safely through their day. It's a promise to every couple who wants to show affection, to be able to hold hands in public without looking over their shoulders. It's a promise to every Canadian that they will be respected, that their rights will be protected, that you will be safe in your own community and proud in your own skin.
I gotta say, I'm not gonna fault Carney for anything that he said, but I do want to say that this feels a little heavy on the mission accomplished sentiment and a little light on the we've still got some work to do. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate that both the Liberals and the NDP tend to be parties that do as much for queer people as we could expect in a representative democracy where a lot of people still kind of hate us. Heck, in most provinces, you can now get pre-exposure anti-HIV medication covered by provincial healthcare plans, which is actually huge. But while legally we're samesies under the law for the most part, don't think for a second that queer people are treated the same in day-to-day life. If you've ever worked an entry-level job like at a call center, you've met that trans person who is so much better at the job than everyone else, but will never be promoted and will never get a non-standardized wage increase. Are things much better for queer students in most of Canada than they used to be? Yes. I don't want to claim that they're not, but politicians in many cases still feel comfortable using stigma towards queer people as a wedge issue. And has any party put forward any legislation that would require anti-queer groups in Canada to disclose their funding? Not that I'm aware of. And given our proximity to the US and the insanity that gets imported from down there, we kind of need stuff like that. So we've made a lot of progress. Things are definitely better than they were when I was a kid. But Canada needs to seriously tackle the money that is spent promoting disinformation and hatred within our borders. And we need to hold big companies responsible for letting dishonest astroturfing content into Canada that was made in other countries. Because until we get to that point where queer people are protected from being used as a wedge issue by any rich asshole who just wants to be able to pollute more, until then, none of this is a promise. It's a temporary piece held together by hope and multicolored duct tape. And I'd really like to leave something more stable to the next generation of queer kids.